Hello, and you are listening to Week 6 of Oneness Project Light One-on-One with Israel Kelly. I'm your host, Cassandra. For those of you that are new, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Our purpose for each episode is to enhance your understanding of life, the universe, and the world around us by exploring a specific topic more in depth through the eyes of Source. As many of you know, Israel Kelly is fully coalesced with Source energy and has been granted with the universal knowing. He is here to bring messages of love to humanity and to facilitate all of us with the expansion of our consciousness. In last week's episode, Israel shared his divine knowledge of our higher selves, which we learned is our spiritual larger part of who we are. Tonight, we are continuing on with part 2. We will explore our higher selves more intimately, with more questions, and later Israel is going to show us how to connect with our higher self. So stick around. This is the episode you don't want to miss. Before we begin, let me introduce Israel Kelly. Hello, Israel. Welcome back. I have to say your 7-day adventure in the Dominican Republic sure flew by fast. Were you able to accomplish everything you had set forth for your trip?
Thanks for having me, Cassandra. And yes, my time in the Dominican Republic was great, and we accomplished a lot of things. We need to go back not only to Dominican Republic but many other places to talk about consciousness, and it's pretty good. We're doing a great job, and we have to keep the consistency.
That's fantastic, Israel. I'm sure many people benefited from it. Let us further explore our higher selves, shall we? Last week, we spoke about how our higher self does not experience our sadness, pain, anger, and all negative emotions. And your reply was because our higher self consistently remains in the vortex. Well, isn't it true that our higher self also serves another purpose with our emotions? Isn't our emotions their way of helping us navigate through life? Each time we experience sorrow or anything negative, it means that we have steered off our path and have fallen off of our vortex of alignment. Can you elaborate more on this, please?
When we have human emotions, we send rockets of desire. Those rockets of desire, they are imitated, they're equalized by our inner self, our inner being. Our inner being evolves and matches those desires within the vortex. It's up to us to go in the vortex and manifest those desires to help things become. Our emotions are the connection we have with the larger part of ourself, with the energy. We manifest our emotions with the wantings, with the desire. The more we are able to hold the frequency with our higher self, our spiritual self, the easiest will be to manifest our desires and wanting. Our higher self is always in the vortex, and our manifestations come to assist when we are able to hold a vibration that is aligned with that evolvement of our higher self within the vortex.
Thank you, Israel. You mentioned last week that our higher self is always available to us. We simply just need to initiate the conversation. What exactly happens when we speak to our higher self? Does it raise our consciousness? Does it open a portal for us to increase our awareness? Is there some sort of expansion that occurs each time we speak to our higher self? And also, is our intuition an example of our higher self communicating with us?
Of course, it's a priceless sense of coming back home every time we speak to our higher self. Imagine when you see a photo when you were a child, how you feel when you see this photo. You connect yourself, you connect your senses, you connect your memories, you smile, you feel good. Every time you have a direct communication, a conscious communication with your higher self, your expansion is a tremendous expansion. Your consciousness expand, the way you feel expand, your connection, your intuition expand. You see things in a wider perspective. You're able to connect with the larger part of who you are. You're able to remember things. You're able to connect emotionally. There's a lot of things that happen every time you connect with the larger part of who you are, which is your higher self. That connection produces all positive results of your higher self is always on the vortex. And as you are trying to expand your consciousness, you are trying to get into the vortex. Just by talking to your higher self, just by having this non-physical interaction with yourself, you will get into the vortex right away.
That's awesome, Israel. Moving on. Last week, you stated that one of the reasons why our higher self does not come fully merged with us when we are birthed into this physical time-space reality is because it would take away from our experience. We came here to experience contrasts. We didn't want things to be perfect like they are in the non-physical. My question for you is, if this is the case, then why are you teaching us to connect with our higher self now? Wouldn't this defeat the purpose for our reason for coming here? Or is there another explanation for why you and so many other masters across the globe are helping us to awaken and to reconnect with our higher self?
There is a very good question, Cassandra. Why are we doing this? Why are so many people talking about expansion of consciousness? Many good teachers. All that information is source energy one way or another. That doesn't come from nobody's head. It's not their imagination. It's their interpretation of reality. And that has the purpose of creating a new experience for whoever wants to listen to any new information regarding the expansion of consciousness. It doesn't really matter how they explain it. All of us, we are doing this for the purpose of expanding. And why are we doing so? In the past, in other generations, this happened before. It was people talking about, in a different way, about the expansion of consciousness, about the connection, spiritual connection that humans can have with themselves. And what was achieved with it? That humanity as a whole started having a new experience about things. Everyone's generations passes and so on, a new way to connect. The same way religions were created, it was a way to teach people to connect, to keep that connection with God, with Source. Now, with the expansion of consciousness, it's a new way to have a new spiritual experience while in physicality, as we induce ourselves to forget who we are every time we come in, and we learn as kids a new culture, a new language, and we forget all we know until it's time for us to remember that we are a non-physical source energy in a human body for the purpose of having a new creation, a new experience on time, planet Earth. Um, Anybody who is trying to teach now, who is trying to span humanity about consciousness, is bringing a message of unconditional love. And we need that. We need to talk. It's not only about the expansion of consciousness, but the understanding of what is the meaning of life. While we're here for the experience. The boundaries about living with the struggle and having a tough life, it doesn't have to be there. What we're trying to do, all of us teaching about the expansion of consciousness, is reminding everybody what everybody knows already, that we are source energy, that we're here to create, that we can use the universal law of attraction, and that this life is beautiful, to appreciate and to spread unconditional love. That's the purpose of anybody who is talking about consciousness, one way or another, because it was dictated like that. It's part of a master plan that it was used before to enhance the experience. And now we are in a time in which the awakening and ascension of consciousness is the right time to do so. And we were instructed to do so.
How exciting. Okay, that is all the question I had for you, Israel. You may now begin with the higher self exercise.
All right, Cassandra, we're going to start with a very simple exercise. I wish people in the audience now listen to this recording. They can have their eyes open or closed. It doesn't really matter. While they listen to it, they just pay attention to the words. It's very simple. It's something that everybody is doing daily. Connection within ourselves. But we have the misconception thinking that it's just our imagination. It's not such a thing as our imagination. Your higher thoughts, those thoughts that make you understand things that they're very complex, those things that sometimes to make you feel what is the right action about things, when you feel grateful, when you feel blissful, when you feel good about yourself. That is your higher self. That is the connection that is there for all humans, and it doesn't go nowhere. Your higher self doesn't turn off and on. It's always there. The light is always on, and that's who you are. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna try to remove resistance, doubts, and limitations. That's the main part. If we already have a misconception, we already have a conception, a preconceived idea about what's going to happen next, is not going to happen. So you need to go with the flow of things. So let your thoughts go and just pay attention to your breathing, in and out, very calmly, very relaxed. Take a few minutes just to be with yourself. And you're going to have an interaction with your higher self that is not going to be something that you're going to hear in your ears, but will be a thought. Higher self do not communicate with words, only in the case in which you are already a very advanced individual, in which you have a purpose to teaching, the purpose to help other people. But for regular humans, the higher self will speak to you in your thoughts. It's not going to speak to you with words, and you just have to listen to those thoughts. To listen to the thoughts that are going to come in your head, you just relax your mind. Any thought that comes in that distracts you, just let it go. And what you're going to do, you're going to ask the question. So pose the question to your higher self. The first question we're going to be, are you my higher self? Are you my higher self? That's going to be the first question. Just you wait a few seconds and you wait for the answer. The answer is going to come into you as a thought. It's not going to come into you as a word, but as a thought. Are you my higher self? Very good. Very good. The next question is, are you one with God? Are you one with God? Well, for a few seconds there, just listen to the thoughts in your head. There you go. Perfect. Are you always with me? That's going to be the third question. Third question for your higher self. Are you always with me? That's going to be number 3. Are you always with me? Very good. Very good. You have to remove resistance, you have to remove doubts, and you have to be open to that communication. You have to welcome. If you don't welcome that communication, it's not going to happen. As your higher self, do not interfere. You have free will. Your higher self has free will as well. Your energy has free will. So if you want that communication to happen, if you want to make that communication possible, you have to ask for it. Ask and it will be given to you. That's a principle. Ask and it will be given to you. So the next question will be, are you eternal? Are you my higher self? Are you eternal? Very good. Very good. The next question will be, can I speak to you anytime I want? Can I speak to you anytime I want? Very good. Listen to the answer. Very good. There you go. You can formulate your own questions. This is just guidelines. You can ask your higher self anything. And a way to prove yourself that it's your higher self, try to get a question that you don't know the answer. It doesn't matter if about any topic whatsoever. Try to ask the question of something that you don't know the answer, that you will have to use the media, a browser or something on the internet to get the answer that you don't really know the answer. And you'll see that your higher self is going to give you the answer. Just for you to get comfortable and familiar with the larger part of yourself. Very good. You relax your mind, you relax your thoughts, you just listen, and you formulate your own questions. Very good, very good. And that's how you speak to your higher self. Remove doubts, remove separation, remove division, and you're going to be able to speak to yourself, like you've been doing it, but now conscious that you're talking to the larger part of you, to your inner guidance, to your spiritual self. And as you align yourself with that spiritual part of you, there won't be no limitations as a human anymore. As a human, you're very powerful. You just don't know you are. And by you talking to the larger part of yourself, by you coalescing with the larger part of yourself, you achieve things that you don't have not even an idea that they were possible for you to do. Believe in yourself, speak to yourself, speak to your higher self.
Thank you so much, Israel. That was great, as always. As you know, I have done this practice before and have successfully connected with my higher self, who you know is Cassandra, and it would be interesting to find out how our listeners did with this exercise. If you guys could kindly add your comments below and let us know how this experience was for you, we would love to hear from you. Before we conclude our show for this evening, do you have any final thoughts you would like to share with us, Israel?
Final thoughts is that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You are on planet Earth to create a new reality, to have a new experience. There's no right or wrong. Right or wrong is human perception, it's human interpretation of reality. By you talking, coalescing to the larger part of yourself, you are going to be able to stay in a vortex. You will come out whenever you feel like, but you will become a very successful person in which the limitation of your reality will disappear. You're going to be able to help a lot of people to heal with your hands, to use the energy of Reiki. You're going to be able to move from realities. You're going to be able to understand many concepts that are very difficult to verbalize. You will remember your past lives. You're going to remember who you are while you are in non-physical form. You will get enlightened. If you choose to do so, you're going to be able to help people, to help humanity. You're going to practice unconditional love, and your families and friends, they will see you as somebody to follow. You're going to feel very good about yourself. You're going to earn to feel and believe in yourself. And you will understand that you're here for the creation of a new experience on planet Earth. But you are more than a physical body. You are non-physical energy now occupying physicality for the purpose of creating a new reality on planet Earth.
That was beautiful, Israel. Thank you so much for sharing with us your divine knowledge of who we are. It's been an enlightening experience. Until next time, this is Cassandra for Oneness Project Light One-on-One with Israel Kelly. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, and it's a privilege that you took the time to listen to this recording.